Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for joining the orientation session for certification in Islamic banking and being offered by Iqra University, one of Pakistan's leading university, a globally recognized institution. And I am very happy and honored to have Dr. Professor
Proceed, so we are on.
he has a PhD in finance. We'll also be joined by Dr. Aminullah Aman. He's an assistant professor. He has a PhD in Islamic banking and finance as well. So before we hit this call, I just wanted to chat with you guys about Islamic banking and finance. Well, what is it? Why do we have a certification targeted towards professionals who want to work in the banks, right? So Islamic banking and finance entered the global business arena in 1950. So if you go back and look at the history, you'll find the conversation and discussion of Islamic banking going back all the way to 1950s. But it gained quite a momentum in the 1970s, especially after the oil crisis of 1973, and after that, Islamic movement emerged, and so did the oil-rich countries of the Middle East. So, ranging in scope from corporate finance to asset management, Islamic finance has taken off globally, largely driven by the oil industry, but now with other service-oriented organizations as well. So, in a global industry that needs expertise, it makes sense that students should learn about Islamic finance. Today, we take a look at what is Islamic banking and finance, what it means for you to get certified by the leading global institution of our university. So, with that said, I am going to introduce both of my guests today. As I said earlier, Professor Dr. Imtiaz Ahmed is the Associate Dean of Iqra University. He also has a PhD in Islamic banking and finance, as well as Dr. Amin. My apologies. As well as Dr. Aminullah Aman, who is the assistant professor, and he'll be the lead of the CIBP certification course. So, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program, both of you. Um,
Walaikum assalam, walaikum assalam.
so, Doctor, my question would be this. So either one of you could answer it. Professor Diaz or Professor Allah. You know, help us understand the concept, curriculum, and outcome of this course. Islamic finances is widely known as Sharia compliant finances. What does this mean? What does this mean for me and the students and the other people who would like to join this course?
So, at Iqra University, back in early years of its starting, Iqra University started in 1998, and in 1999, end of 1999, Iqra University got a charter from government of Sindh, and it's a recognized university of Pakistan by Higher Education Commission of Pakistan over here. So just after getting a charter for offering master's degree, what we started, we initially added, we realized the importance of Islamic banking, and we added a core course in our bachelor's and master's program with the title of Islamic Banking and Finance. So after a certain period of time at Iqra University, we also noted that there is a huge demand for Islamic banking. At that time, not a single bank in Pakistan were operating with the Islamic jurisprudence or following the basics of Islamic banking system. So back in 2000, we decided to offer this Islamic banking as a core course for our bachelor's and master's students. But later in 2003, we developed a specialization for our MBA students, a specialization in Islamic banking, realizing the importance and the opportunities the growing nation may demand for. especially for a country like Pakistan. So we started offering specialization, and just before that, the Sharia Court of Pakistan also advised the government to actually convert all banking system into mode of Islamic banking. So government of Pakistan also took a very positive and initiative for offering Islamic banking to the customers. So there was a huge demand for providing professional for running this kind of banking system. So we stepped in first. Later on, few other university also started offering Islamic banking programs in their business degrees, and few are now offering some other specialized degrees as well. But we were of the few university where we actually realized the importance, and now we have quite a good faculty to actually offer these kind of courses. So that's it, which I have to say. And Mr. Aminullah, Dr. Aminullah, may I continue from here?
So Dr. Miller, like the question was, what does it mean to be Sharia compliant?
Sorry, are you asking me? Actually, I missed
Yes.
your question exactly.
So yeah, let me rephrase the question, right? Sharia law
Actually,
prohibits.
I joined late actually. That's why I couldn't hear your question.
So that, yeah, no worries. I'll repeat myself. So Sharia law prohibits usury or riba, the acceptance of interest and fees in exchange for loans. Right? Investing in businesses that provide goods and services are also considered haram or sinful. Right? For example,
Yes.
Sharia compliant finance will not allow businesses to invest in companies that buy, sell, or produce anything related to gambling, pork, alcohol, pornography, to name a few. Right? While interpretations among Muslim countries may vary, as we see, because we are offering this course globally, there are few essential principles that we understand. Right? So my first question to you again is that risk sharing is the cornerstone of Sharia compliant finance. How does it work in the real life?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Actually, you have touched a very important and a fundamental concept of Islamic finance and Islamic banking, risk sharing. Actually, if we talk about a profit for every business is for a profit. And in Islamic finance, profit is a reward of a risk. It means if you want to enjoy a profit, you have to bear a risk of loss. For instance, if you are not ready to bear a risk of loss, then you are not entitled to take the profit. If you are getting some income without bearing a risk of loss, that income would might be interest or some impermissible income, but would not be categorized as a profit in the language of Islamic finance. So Islam connects profit with the risk of loss. So we have to be ready to bear a risk. We have to be ready to share risk with our partners in order to share mutual profit. If I am getting a profit, and I guarantee you that the entire risk of loss will be borne by me. You do not have to bear any risk. Just invest your money with me. You will be getting a sure profit. There is no risk of loss. So the profit I am committing to you is actually not a profit in the language of Islamic finance. It is actually interest or some impermissible income. So Islam connects profit with the risk of loss. So these two elements go side by side together in Islamic finance.
Excellent. So mudaraba or profit sharing, I guess you talked about, right? But there's
Yeah,
also the
exactly.
safekeeping, right? So wadia or wadia, right? Wadia. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
pronouncing it.
Wadia contract.
Yeah, wadia contract, safekeeping. That also allows the safekeeping on the institution, and there was some training and jurisprudence that goes along with it, right? Then we see in the modern world mushraka or joint venture, right?
Musharaka, yes.
Yeah, or murabaha or cost plus banking, right?
Yes.
Leasing So these are some of the components that I believe that you'll be covering in the courses, correct?
Definitely. Actually, we have to go to the root cause of Islamic banking. The root cause is Islamic banking works on the basis of trade. Islamic banking works on the basis of trade of goods and services with its depositors as well as different kinds of clients. For example, a client comes to an Islamic bank. The Islamic bank will be asking a client about the need he is looking for. He needs a car, he needs a house, he needs a raw material, he needs a fabric. So according to the need of the customer, Islamic bank develops a product for the, and those products are based on these murabaha, musharaka, muzaraba. So some of them are the participatory products, and others are the sale and purchase products. So these are the fundamental modes of Islamic finance or Islamic banks which they use to facilitate their depositors as well as different kinds of consumer and corporate clients. So, connecting with your the first question where we discuss about the risk sharing. So, Islamic bank share risk with their customers through these products. Islamic banks make their customers their partners. For instance, if I go an Islamic bank and I intend to open an account with them, so in their account opening form, it is explicitly mentioned that that an Islamic bank and an account holder are going to become partners of each other. And it is also mentioned okay, what would be the profit sharing ratio between two of them. Similarly, what would be the loss bearing ratios by both of them. So Islamic banks explicitly include itself in the participatory relationship with its depositors. So by this way, they share the risk with their depositors, and for that, technical terminology, the technical product we have is a musharaka product. Similarly, this is about the participatory product. But sometimes Islamic banks do not do partnerships; they just do sale and purchase. As I said earlier, it depends on the need of the customer why he or she has approached Islamic bank. If you just need a fabric, so Islamic bank does not need to enter into a partnership relationship with you. What Islamic bank will simply do, they will do sale and purchase with you. So here Islamic bank will use a product of murabaha. Similarly, there are several other products, ijara, salam, istisna, law of contract. So all these products we will be teaching, we will be covering in our certification or degree programs.
Excellent, excellent. Now, thank you very much for elaborating on those terms. And
You're welcome.
uh, just like me, I'm sure there's a lot of other interested students as well who are
Definitely.
who are committed to taking the course, but want to understand what does it really mean. I mean, if after I complete the program, what kind of a job should I expect? What will be my day-to-day work like in a bank if I was to go and get a job with a bank or any of the financial institutions? If you don't mind walking us through that, that would be great.
For that, first of all, I would like to clear one thing, a fundamental thing. See, if someone is doing certified Islamic banking course or doing some degree in Islamic banking, so he or she should be clear that the knowledge he is getting out of this certification or a degree program is not only restricted to an Islamic banks. Rather, it caters all the entities of Islamic financial industry. When we say Islamic financial industry, we mean Islamic banks, Islamic insurance, Islamic stock markets, Islamic mutual funds, Islamic capital markets, Islamic brokerage houses, and so on. So once a student passes or gets a knowledge from some certification on Islamic banking or a degree program, he or she becomes a suitable candidate for all these entities which come under the umbrella of Islamic finance. So in today, if we talk about in today's world, if we go to the GCC or if we go to an European countries, for instance, UK, do you know Today in Pakistan, we have five full-fledged Islamic banks that have come into existence after 25 years. But
Mhm.
in UK, there are already five banks which have come into existence after just 3 or 4 years.
Mhm.
So look at the pace which Islamic banks are following, the speedy growth they are following throughout the world. Same goes with US. It is a purely a non-Muslim country, but they do have two full-fledged Islamic banks. Same is in other countries. So the market is very huge. It is taking pace very fast, and the demand for the marketing is increasing day by day, but the supply is very scarce. The suitable candidate today, I get, being a Islamic scholar, many of the times I get questions from abroad. People ask, okay, we need mortgage, we need car financing, but in our country we do not have any Islamic options. What should we do? So in contrast to their questions, when we ask in the financial institutions in non-Muslim countries, why don't you follow, why don't you offer Islamic solutions, the primary answer we get is we do not find suitable candidates. We do not find candidates with relevant qualification and degrees. That is why it becomes the human development, human resource becomes a biggest limitation for us. So the scope is very huge, and it is taking pick very fastly, and the competition is going to be very tough. By the way, if we compare Islamic finance and the degree programs of Islamic finance with the rest of the conventional programs which have been offered by different universities, for example, HR, marketing, supply chain. So there's a huge supply already available. In fact, the supply of human resource more than available jobs. But unlike this, in Islamic financial industry, the demand is very high, but the supply is very scarce. So there's a huge gap available to be fulfilled by the relevant candidates. So I assure my candidates, whoever takes this degree program, if he or she is rightly skillful, and if he or she can demonstrate the skills he or she has got from the degree program, so there is no limitation to get a good job or to make a good career in the Islamic financial world.
Thank you very much, Doctor. This was really good. And just to recap what you said, with the world's Muslim population expected to leave 2 billion, inshallah, very soon, Islamic finance
Inshallah.
continue to shape the global banking scene. Right. If you look at 10 of the world's 25 rapid growth countries are Muslim, right? And as Professor Aman just told us, just told us that after you have the certification from Iqra University, there are two things you can do with it. Either you can continue to get a degree program and use those four courses that you're taking with Dr. Amin as a credit-bearing courses to fulfill your graduations. Or you can actually, if you're already a banker, if you're already in the industry, and if you just want to hone in and get the skills of Islamic banking, this course will suffice, inshallah. So, Dr. Min, if you don't mind, I know there are four courses that you've listed and you have explained those on the website as well. But if you don't mind just briefly touching those four courses, and how long does it take? How much of a commitment does a working professional need to make to be successfully completing the course?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So, if I summarize our certification program, it basically comprises of four modules. So, these four modules are four courses. We have designed them in a very unique way, starting from introductory level to an intermediate level and up until advanced level. For instance, module 1, it is about the introduction of Islamic banking, where we discuss whether there is any concept of banking possible in Islam or not. First of all, we should be clear with that. So in the introductory course, we clear with our students with this fundamental concept, whether Islamic banking is possible or not. If it is possible, then what is the difference between an Islamic bank and its conventional counterpart? Similarly, we also discuss what makes Islamic banks different from its conventional banking. So, what are the fundamental concepts which are important, which Islam gives, on the basis of which Islamic banks differentiate themselves from conventional banking? For instance, interest, speculation, uncertainty. So, these are the all fundamental concepts which we cover in our first module. So, we title this, we name our first module as an orientation of Islamic banking, where a student gets an orientation, an introductory level and foundational level knowledge, which would be helpful to understand the knowledge which would be covered in the rest of the modules. So this is about our first module. Moving to the
If you
second module.
don't mind,
Yeah,
Doctor,
sure.
before you get to the second module, if as a student I would have some questions about that, right? So in
Yes,
that
please.
module, of course, you will have your videos that you will listen to. There will be reading material as well, and there are quizzes involved there too. As
Yes.
a student, how much time do you think I should put away every week to finish one module at a time? What kind of a
Yeah.
time do you need from me?
So ideally, we have designed our each module over a period of 1 month time, and a student can qualify for a module within a 1 month period time. But it doesn't mean a student has to put long hours, 4 5 6 hours a day to complete a module within a week, within a month. No, it's not like that. Rather, this would be a combination of synchronous and asynchronous mode. Some tasks would be done through pre-recorded sessions, and some tasks would be done through reading material which students can read as per their convenience, and rest of the tasks, for further elaboration, rest of the tasks will be conducted through a live session. So it would be a blend of combination of recorded sessions, case studies, reading material, and then a live session to cover up in the confusions left while while going through the reading material or a recorded session. So ideally, within 1 month period time, we expect and we find our students to complete the overall curriculum of one module.
So in addition to that, Ibrahim Saab, in addition to that is what we will do. We will offer different live streaming sessions, as Dr. Aminullah mentioned, that we will offer live streaming session at two different times. So we can understand that on the other side of the globe, the time difference is always there. So to cope up with that time difference, we will have live sessions scheduled in a manner that from both part of the world can be people can attend our live session. So it will be in that manner designed
Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
for every module.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was going to be my next question to Dr. Imtiaz, that there are participants who are interested. They are from Africa and different parts of Middle East and South Asia and Far East Asia, and as well as Europe. So we are all in a different in Allah's world. We are all in a different time zone. Some of the
And we will
students said,
take your help. And
"Yeah,
we will take your help in scheduling those live sessions.
excellent, very good."
But at the same time, those live sessions will not be mandatory to complete these modules. So in case if the students are having some difficulties in comprehending the content which are delivered through recorded videos and reading materials, the students wants to have some further elaboration related to certain topics, they can always join us during that live sessions. And if they are not requiring it, they may opt not to attend that. And we will also try to make those live sessions available offline. So maybe somebody who wants to understand from their the live sessions, the discussion which we will be having. They can learn from those discussions later on at their convenient time if they feel that they need to review that.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I think you cleared my questions that was coming up as already. So with that said, Dr. Amin, if you want to proceed to module 2 and 3 and 4, I promise not to interrupt you now.
Yeah, sure. Module 2, the name of, we have named our module 2 as Islamic Financial Participatory Products. So see, there are so many products which Islamic banks use today around the world. So some of them are participatory products and some of them are trade products. So in module 2, we cover the participatory products. As you were saying earlier, Musharaka, Muzaraba. So these are the participatory products. We cover them in a great detail, starting from their concepts, their types, their basic rules, and then most importantly, their application in Islamic banks. And in application, we do not only cover their conceptual application, rather we include calculations and numericals, exactly how Islamic banks use these products for their customers and clients, and for their depositors. So in total, Islamic in module 2, we cover participatory products of Islamic banks. And one more important thing, in module 2, we cover pool management. Pool management means how Islamic banks actually share profits with their customers, because Islamic banks get different types of clients and clients, right? Different types of investors. Someone invests for 3 months, someone invests for 6 months, but someone invests for 1 year, and it ranges up until 5 years and 10 years. So there are different kinds of investors. So how Islamic banks make sure to distribute profit with each one of them according to their maturity period. So this all covers under pool management. So this is also a part of our module 2. So moving forward to the module 3, the name of the third module is Islamic Financial Trade Products. Here, the trade products are covered. For example, as you named earlier, Ijara, Wadiya, Salam, Istisna, Sukuk. So these are the trade products where Islamic banks do not establish any partnership relationship with their clients, but they do sale purchase, or they do rental transactions. For example, if I need a car and I go to an Islamic bank, so how they are going to finance me a car? If I need a house and I'm going to an Islamic bank, so how they are going to finance me a house? So these all concepts are covered within this third module, Islamic financial trade products, and the same scheme is followed, starting from the concept, then types, then basic rules, and ultimately the practical application of these products in Islamic banks. And the last but not the least, the name of the fourth module is Islamic law of contract. This is very unique topic and very unique course which we cover in our certification. In many universities around the world, this course is offered as a specialized course, and hardly universities find resource person for this course. Islamic law of contract. Here, actually, the Islamic laws pertaining to the different kinds of contracts are discussed. For instance, if you and me, if you and me are doing a sale and purchase contract, so what are the laws we are supposed to take care of to make this contract compliant of Islamic principles? Similarly, if I'm making if we are doing a partnership, so this is also a contract. Or if two persons are getting married, so husband and wife, this is also a marriage contract. So what are the rules which Islam has given to be followed while concluding any contract? So this is a very specialized knowledge which we cover in our fourth module, and its name is Islamic law of contract. So this is the summary of all four modules of CIBP.
Well, thank you very much. That was really, really a good explanation of all the 4 modules, Dr. Amin. I
You're welcome.
My last question to you would be is that at the end of this course, at the end of fourth module, would I be walking away with tools as well? For example, templates of the Islamic contract, the calculation that I need to be applying in my jobs. Will I be walking away with tools as well?
Definitely. First, I can commit two things. Number one, once you walk away after getting this certification and you appear in any interview in any Islamic financial institute, any Islamic, not only Islamic banks, any Islamic financial institution. As I said earlier, it could be an Islamic insurance company or
Mhm.
Islamic brokerage house, yeah, Islamic mutual funds. Wherever you go in any Islamic financial institution, if and you appear in an interview, the first and the foremost thing you would be aware of the terminologies of Islamic banks, in the terminologies of Islamic finance. If they would ask you, okay, what is musharaka, you would not only explain this, but you can tell them how it is actually applied in your institution. So number one, you would be aware of the terminologies. Number two, how these products are actually executed, how these as I said earlier, we discuss calculations also, we discuss practical applications also. So our graduate can easily communicate to an interviewer, how these products, how these functions of Islamic banks or Islamic financial institutions are executed within their institutions. So I hope once a candidate expresses such an advanced knowledge into an interviewer, so there is no doubt to secure a job.
Inshallah, inshallah. I am sure that people will walk away a lot more knowledgeable, but also skilled, so that they can manage their livelihoods as well. Because we all seek education for multiple purposes, and one of the purpose would be is to have outcome in this world as well, right? So,
Obviously.
so I'm going to conclude. And telling all my participants and those who will be coming and watching it later on, look, in this field, as Dr. Amin said, supply barely keeps up with the demand. So there's a lot more jobs open than a lot more jobs are open than the candidates available. So the supply and demand side is in your favor if you were to get this certification. And the market is not only in the Muslim countries, of course, Middle East and African countries, Muslim countries, and South Asia and Far East Asia, but in Europe and America, in Latin America and South America, where there are people doing business and different types of business with 2 billion population of the world. They do need these expertise. So I would very highly encourage you to go to al-ghazali.education, look up CIBP, or certification in Islamic banking and finance. Our admissions counselors, advisors are there for you. You can have a WhatsApp chat with them right then and there. And also, if you were to join before November 1st, the session starts on November 1st. If you join, uh, please contact us. And the Ghazali Institute may be able to help you with some scholarship if you need, for our first class.
Can I speak
Absolutely,
for a
sir.
minute?
Absolutely.
Uh, what I want to suggest here that after completion of CIBP, if somebody is already having a 12 years of schooling, they can continue with our bachelor's program in Islamic banking. So these courses will also be transferable to our bachelor's program in Islamic banking. And those who are already having 14 years of qualification, they can do further 4 courses and a research project. After that, they can qualify for a diploma. And later on, if they want to pursue with that, they can do masters in business administration with us with specialization in Islamic banking. So all their course they complete in their MBA program, the diploma program, that those courses will also be cater for the master's program in business administration with specialization in Islamic banking and finance. So this is an added advantage for all those students, candidates who will be doing this CIBP. So we are also starting our international campus in Bahria town. So those international students can also join our program on campus after completion of their CIBP. So we are also planning to offer these kind of degree program later in the later years online. So maybe perhaps in times to come, we will be able to offer masters in business administration with a specialization in Islamic banking online 100%. Once we will have certain requirements met, we can offer that program as well. But at the moment, after completion of CIPP, students can join our BS Islamic Banking and Finance, which is actually after 12th of qualification will be a 4-year bachelor's program, equivalent to 16 years of schooling from any recognized university all over the world. So that is which I want to add it to CIBP.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gazar. That is an extremely important point, and I'm sorry I've forgotten it. So at Iqra University, which is ranked number 1 for business administration in Pakistan for several
Yes.
years, also a globally recognized university, is part of the UNESCO, recognized by UNESCO as well. Uh, Al-Ghazali University Institute is, of course, very honored to partner with you and privileged to partner with you. I just want to remind students that if you were to take these credits from Iqra University, because it isn't a recognized university, you may be able to transfer some of those credits elsewhere as well. But of course, our preference would be that you continue with Iqra University, and Professor Imtiaz has rightly said that you have a career path to either getting an undergrad, a BS degree, a postgraduate diploma, or an MBA. So with all that ahead of you, the future looks really bright, inshallah. And I urge all of you to continue your journey towards Islamic banking and finance. You'll learn a lot, and you will be employed in a respectable job where your earnings will be much higher than what it is today. I've talked to folks who were bankers, and after they've done Islamic banking and finance diploma in tandem, their income level have gone up, their responsibility has grown, and they're succeeding and they're growing quite rapidly. So, with that said, thank you very much, Dr. Imtiaz and Dr. Amin, and
You're welcome, and thank you so much for inviting us.
all right. Wassalam. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam.